There's something most men don't understand. Women have a radar for weakness. They might not say it outright, but they can sense it. And the moment they do, respect drops, attraction fades, and suddenly you find yourself wondering why she's pulling away, why she's not as interested, why she's treating you differently. But here's the reality. She saw something in you that screamed weakness, and she lost all interest. Welcome to Man of Substance, where we teach men how to navigate life and relationships with power, presence, and purpose. In today's video, we're diving into something most men don't even realize, how women spot weakness and how that affects the way they see you. Because make no mistake, women don't just want strength in a man, they need it. And I'm not talking about physical strength, I'm talking about your presence, your mindset, and the way you carry yourself. Now let's be clear, weakness isn't just about being shy or quiet. Some of the weakest men are loud, aggressive, and always trying to prove themselves. And some of the strongest men are calm, composed, and speak with purpose. The difference is in how you handle yourself, how you respond to challenges, and whether you command respect without begging for it. But here's the real kicker. Most men don't even realize when they're showing weakness. They think they're just being nice, being understanding, or doing what society tells them is the right thing to do. And that's exactly how they end up losing the respect of the women they desire. Women are wired to test men, not because they're trying to be difficult, but because they need to know if you're truly strong or just pretending to be. They pick up on little things, the way you react to pressure, whether you seek validation, if you hesitate when making decisions. And once they sense that weakness, it's over. That's why, in this video, I'm going to break down 7 specific ways women see you as weak. Things you probably don't even realize you're doing. Some of these might hit hard, but that's the point. Because if you don't correct these mistakes, you'll always struggle with keeping a woman's respect. But if you do, you'll become the kind of man who naturally commands attention, admiration, and attraction. Now, let's get into it. Before we start, I've created a community on Podia where I break down everything you need to know, step by step. You'll get no-nonsense, practical advice that will boost your confidence and help you build stronger, more meaningful connections. And the best part? The first 20 people who join will get an exclusive discount. So don't hesitate. Click the link in the description to grab your spot. If you know someone who could use this, share it with them. 1. You seek her approval. Too much. One of the fastest ways to make a woman lose respect for you is constantly seeking her approval. Most men don't even realize they're doing it. They think they're just being nice, trying to keep her happy, or making sure she knows they care. But to a woman, it comes off as weak. Women are naturally drawn to men who are sure of themselves. Men who move through life without needing permission or validation. But when you constantly ask, "Do you like this? Is this okay? Are you mad at me?" she starts to see you as insecure. And nothing kills attraction faster than insecurity. Here's the truth. Women want a leader, not a follower. If she feels like you're looking to her for direction, instead of standing firm in your own decisions, she'll start to lose respect. She won't say it outright, but you'll notice little things. She won't text back as quickly. She won't seem as excited to see you, and she might even start testing you just to see how much you're willing to bend. Let's break it down with a real situation. A man goes on a date with a woman. He asks her, "Where do you want to eat?" She says, "I don't know, you pick." Instead of making a decision, he keeps asking, "Are you sure? Do you like this place? I just want to make sure you're happy." At first, she might just shrug it off, but deep down she's thinking, why can't he just decide? Why is he acting like he needs my approval for everything? Compare that to a man who simply says, "We're going here. You'll love it." No hesitation, no need for her validation. That kind of confidence is what keeps a woman interested. Now let's be clear. This doesn't mean ignoring her opinions or being controlling. It means being a man who trusts his own judgment. A woman will test you, not because she's mean, but because she wants to see if you'll stand firm. If you do, she'll respect you. If you don't, she'll see you as weak. If you constantly look to her for approval, she won't say, "You're too nice, and I don't respect you." No, she'll just start acting colder. She'll lose that excitement, and eventually she'll pull away completely. The solution? Stop looking for her validation. Make decisions. Speak with certainty. If she's interested in you, she'll follow your lead. If she's not, that's her problem, not yours. Now let's move on to the second sign of weakness. 2. You let her control the relationship. Nothing makes a woman lose respect for a man faster than feeling like she's in charge. A relationship should never feel like a dictatorship, where she's making all the decisions, setting the pace, and deciding how things go while you just follow along. If she feels like she's the leader and you're just there to please her, she won't see you as a strong man. She'll see you as weak. Here's the problem. Society has convinced men that the best way to keep a woman happy is to just do whatever she wants. Men think if they always agree, always let her decide, and always put her first, she'll appreciate them more. But that's not how it works. Women don't want to be the ones leading the relationship. Even if she has strong opinions deep down, she wants a man who knows what he's doing. If she feels like she has to be the decision maker, she won't trust you to handle the bigger things in life. And if she can't trust you, she won't respect you. Let's put this into a real situation. A guy is dating a woman, and every time they make plans, she's the one choosing the place, setting the time, and deciding what they do. He just goes along with whatever she says, thinking he's being easygoing. But over time, she starts to get irritated. She says things like, "Why don't you ever decide anything?" Or, "Do you even care?" At first, he doesn't get it. He thinks he's just being a good boyfriend by letting her have her way. But to her, it feels like he's not capable of leading. And once she starts seeing him that way, she loses attraction. Now, imagine a different approach. Instead of waiting for her to plan everything, he steps up. He says, "Be ready at 7. I've got something planned." No asking, no waiting for her approval, just confidence. That simple shift makes her see him as a man who knows what he wants. Women respect men who take control, not in an aggressive or forceful way, but in a way that shows leadership. It's not about ignoring her input, but about making decisions instead of waiting for her to make them for you. If you let her run the relationship, she might stay for a while, but she won't see you as the kind of man she truly desires. Eventually, she'll start looking for someone who isn't afraid to take charge. 3. You're afraid to say no. A man who can't say no is a man who will always be walked over. It's that simple. Women don't respect men who are afraid to stand their ground, yet so many men fall into this trap without even realizing it. It starts small. She asks for a favor, and even though it's inconvenient, you do it because you don't want to upset her. Then she pushes a little more. Maybe she cancels plans last minute, and instead of calling it out, you just smile and say, "It's okay, I understand." Before you know it, she's the one making all the demands, and you're just trying to keep her happy. Here's the harsh truth. If you never say no, she'll assume you have no backbone. Women test men all the time, and they don't even do it consciously. It's in their nature. They push limits, not because they want to control you, but because they want to see if you're the type of man who can hold his own. If you fail that test, she'll never see you the same way again. Being agreeable all the time doesn't make you attractive. It makes you predictable. And predictability, especially when it comes from a place of fear, is the fastest way to kill attraction. Women are drawn to men who stand firm, who have boundaries, and who aren't afraid to push back when necessary. The worst part? Most men think saying yes to everything will make them more likable. They believe that if they never argue, never challenge her, and always go along with what she wants, she'll see them as the perfect man. But what really happens? She gets bored. She starts feeling like she's in control, and no woman wants to feel like she's leading a man. Saying no doesn't mean being rude, dismissive, or difficult for no reason. It means knowing what you will and won't tolerate. It means setting standards and sticking to them. If you can't do that, she won't just lose respect, she'll start to lose interest altogether. A strong man is someone who can walk away from situations that don't serve him. He doesn't beg, he doesn't bend, just to keep the peace. And he doesn't fear upsetting a woman by standing his ground. That's the type of man women secretly admire. If you struggle to say no, you need to fix it. Fast. Because the moment she senses that weakness, the dynamic shifts, and you'll never be able to reclaim the respect you lost. 4. You apologize. When you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with apologizing when you've actually messed up. That's what a mature man does. But when you find yourself constantly saying, "I'm sorry," for things that don't even require an apology, you're sending a clear message. You're insecure and you're afraid of upsetting her. Most men don't even realize they do this. It becomes a habit. She seems annoyed, so you assume you did something wrong. She gets distant, and you immediately try to fix it by apologizing. You're not even sure what you're apologizing for, but you do it anyway, hoping it will make everything okay. The problem? It doesn't. It does the opposite. Instead of making her feel better, it makes her see you as weak. Women don't respect men who walk on eggshells around them. If she senses that you're constantly trying to keep the peace by apologizing for things that don't even require an apology, she won't feel more connected to you, she'll feel less attracted. A man who over-apologizes is a man who doesn't trust himself. And if you don't trust yourself, why should she? Women are naturally drawn to men who are confident in their words and actions. If you keep apologizing just to avoid conflict, you're showing her that you're afraid of standing firm. Here's the thing. Women will test you. They'll have mood swings, they'll get distant, and they'll challenge you. Not because they're trying to be difficult, but because they want to see how you handle it. If your first reaction is to backpedal and start saying, "I'm sorry," just to smooth things over, you fail the test. Think about the men you respect the most. Do they constantly apologize for nothing? Do they shrink back the moment someone seems unhappy with them? No. They stand firm, own their decisions, and don't feel the need to constantly explain themselves. That's what makes them respected. That's what makes them strong. If you find yourself saying, "I'm sorry," every time there's a slight tension, stop. Take a step back. Ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong? If not, don't apologize. Stand by your words, stand by your actions, and let her see that you're a man who doesn't need to beg for acceptance. Because once a woman senses that you're a man who constantly apologizes for no reason, the respect starts to fade. And once the respect is gone, it's only a matter of time before everything else follows. 5. You chase her, even when she's pulling away. One of the biggest mistakes a man can make is chasing a woman who's clearly losing interest. When she starts pulling away, most men panic. They text more, call more, try harder to prove their worth, thinking that if they just show her how much they care, she'll come back. But in reality, this only makes things worse. Women don't lose interest for no reason. Sometimes it's because they were never really into you in the first place. Other times, it's because they sense weakness. Either way, when she starts distancing herself and you start chasing, you confirm exactly what she was afraid of, that you're desperate for her attention. And nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. Here's the truth. Women respect men who know their value. If she starts pulling away and you respond by chasing, she assumes you don't have options. A high-value man doesn't need to beg for attention. He recognizes when a woman is losing interest, and instead of chasing, he does the opposite. He pulls back, focuses on himself, and lets her decide if she wants to come back. That's the kind of man women can't stop thinking about. Let's put this into a real situation. A guy is dating a woman, and at first, things are great. She texts him first, she seems excited to see him, and everything flows naturally. But then, suddenly, she starts pulling away. She takes longer to respond, cancels plans more often, and acts distant. Instead of matching her energy and giving her space, he panics. He starts double texting, asking if everything is okay, and trying harder to win her back. What happens next? She pulls away even more. She stops responding completely. Why? Because the moment she sensed that he was afraid of losing her, she lost interest. The chase was over. She had all the power. Now imagine if he had handled it differently. Instead of chasing, he simply mirrored her behavior. If she took hours to text back, he did the same. If she canceled plans, he didn't try to reschedule immediately. He let her be the one to reach out. Suddenly she starts wondering, why isn't he chasing me? Did I lose him? And that's when she starts coming back. A strong man never begs for a woman's attention. He knows his worth. If she wants to leave, he lets her. And that's exactly why women end up chasing him instead. Now let's move on to the next sign of weakness. 6. You let disrespect slide. Nothing makes a man look weaker in a woman's eyes than tolerating disrespect. If you let her talk down to you, ignore your boundaries, or treat you like an option, she's going to lose all respect for you, fast. And the worst part? Most men don't even realize when it's happening. It starts small. She makes a sarcastic comment about you in front of her friends, and you just laugh it off. She cancels plans last minute without an apology, and you act like it's no big deal. She starts testing your patience, pushing your limits, and instead of standing up for yourself, you stay quiet, hoping things will get better on their own. But they won't. They'll get worse. Because every time you ignore disrespect, you're telling her, you can treat me however you want, and I'll still be here. Let's get one thing straight. Women don't respect men they can walk all over. If she knows she can test you without consequences, she'll lose interest. And once she loses respect, the relationship is done. You might still be in it, but she's already emotionally checked out. The worst part? A lot of men don't even recognize when they're being disrespected. They convince themselves that it's just how she is, or that they should pick their battles. And while it's true that not every disagreement is worth fighting over, there's a difference between letting small things go and letting her cross serious boundaries. And here's where most men mess up. Instead of addressing the disrespect directly, they either complain about it later or try to be nice in hopes that she'll change. But she won't. Why? Because people treat you how you allow them to treat you. If you let her cross the line once, she'll do it again. So wake up. Stop tolerating behavior that makes you feel like less of a man. If she disrespects you, call it out, calmly and directly. Not with anger, not with desperation, but with firm confidence. If she keeps doing it, walk away. No arguments, no emotional outbursts. Just leave. That's the only way to show her that you're a man who demands respect. And if you're afraid that standing up for yourself will push her away, here's the truth. It might. But that's a good thing. Because any woman who needs you to tolerate disrespect in order to stay interested isn't worth keeping in the first place. A strong man doesn't tolerate nonsense. He sets the standard, and if she can't meet it, he moves on. And that's exactly why women respect him. 7. You prioritize her over your mission. The moment a man makes a woman the center of his life, he loses. Women don't want to be your purpose. They want to be with a man who already has one. If you drop everything for her, constantly put her needs before yours, and make your entire existence about keeping her happy, she will lose respect for you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And yet, so many men fall into this trap. They meet a woman, and suddenly, their goals, ambitions, and dreams take a back seat. They start skipping the gym just to spend more time with her. They ignore their friends, lose focus at work, and slowly mold themselves into whatever they think she wants. In their minds, they're being a good boyfriend. But in reality, they're showing her that they have no backbone. A woman might enjoy the attention at first, but deep down, she's testing you. She wants to see if you'll stay firm in who you are, or if you'll bend just to please her. And the moment she realizes you're willing to sacrifice your mission for her, she loses attraction, because no high-value man would ever do that. Look at the men women admire the most. They're leaders, creators, men with a vision. They don't sit around waiting for permission to chase their dreams. They don't beg for validation or rearrange their lives to accommodate a woman. They walk their path, and women follow. If you're the guy who constantly asks, "What do you want to do today?" instead of leading, she notices. If you cancel your plans every time she calls, she notices. If you let her dictate how you spend your time, she notices. And every time she sees that you're prioritizing her over your own growth, her respect for you fades. This isn't about ignoring your woman or acting like she doesn't matter. It's about being a man with direction. Women don't want to be your everything. They want to be part of something bigger. They want to look at you and see a man who is building, achieving, and moving forward, with or without them. If you've been putting a woman above your purpose, stop. Get back in the gym. Focus on your business. Develop your skills. Live a life that excites you, with or without her. Because the moment you become a man on a mission, everything changes. Women don't leave men who are going places. They chase them. And that, my friend, is how you earn real respect. Here's the brutal truth. Most men lose women not because they're not good enough, but because they act weak without even realizing it. They seek approval. They let disrespect slide. They chase when they should be walking away. And worst of all, they prioritize a woman over their own mission. And then they sit around wondering why she lost interest. But let me make something clear. Women don't leave strong men. They leave men they stop respecting. You can be the nicest guy in the world, the most caring, the most available. But if you show weakness, she will lose attraction. It's not personal. It's instinct. Women are wired to test a man's strength, and if you fail those tests, they will pull away, every single time. Now, this isn't about blaming women. It's about holding yourself accountable as a man. If you've been acting weak, if you recognize yourself in anything I've said today, it's time to change. Stop being the guy who gets walked over. Stop being the guy who lets his emotions control him. Stop living for someone else's approval. Women don't respect a man who doesn't respect himself. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever noticed a woman lose respect for you and didn't know why? Drop a comment below and I'll be checking them out. I want to help you avoid these mistakes and start winning in your relationships, in your mindset, and in your life. Because at the end of the day, the world doesn't respect weak men, and neither do women. If you're looking to take a deeper dive into these concepts, join my Podia community, link in the description. It's packed with powerful insights to help you master your masculinity in today's dating world. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.